Hello lovely viewers, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful News official YouTube channel. Spoilers for July 15th, 2025's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful. As cherished characters like Luna Noah, Liam Spencer, and Lee Finnegan experience unexpected swings and turns, fans of this classic soap opera are ready for an emotional roller coaster. This week promises to keep viewers on the edge of their seats with surprising disclosures, covert motives, and heartbreaking quandaries. Let's examine each exciting plot point, examining fresh perspectives, minute details, and possible consequences that can change these people's futures in unexpected ways. The terrifying struggle for Liam Spencer's life. Let's start with the tragic story of Liam Spencer, who's long been a source of both fragility and strength in the Forrester-Spencer family. As many devoted followers will remember, Liam recently learned of an incurable brain tumor which devastated his world and those around him. All around him. Liam launched himself into a risky encounter with the erratic Luna Noah because he was determined to protect Steffi Forrester Finnegan and their kids from harm. Liam was caught in the crossfire after risking everything to defend his loved ones out of pure courage or maybe reckless desperation. He was gravely injured and struggling for his life when a gunshot rang out. A heartbreaking turn is hinted at in the most recent leaks. Liam could enter a coma after receiving emergency surgery. The ambiguity about his illness puts a pall over his family, with Steffi, Bill Spencer, and others waiting tensely for updates in the hospital hallways. Insiders speculate that Liam's tumor may have a more intricate function in his recuperation, which heightens the mystery. Could his already serious medical condition be made worse by the stress of the shooting? Or would there be any hope if an experimental therapy is discussed in hushed tones? The emotional stakes are very high as Liam teeters on the brink of death, causing viewers to question if this cherished figure would ever come to life and take back his position in the lives of people who love him. Luna is aware of the intricate web of deceit and destiny. Now let's talk about Luna Noah, the young lady whose deeds have shocked the BNB community. We are faced with a riddle that is both heartbreaking and captivating. The unfortunate encounter with Liam was the only thing that stopped Luna's recent spiral into chaos and violent outburst. Although early findings indicated, despite the fact that both people will have life-saving surgery, a terrifying spoiler indicates that not everyone survives the procedure. Or do they? Luna continues to appear on screen far into September 2025, according to a leaked screenplay excerpt that is making the rounds among die-hard fans. This suggests that she may still be alive, or that it is at least a masterfully staged illusion. Here comes Lee Finnegan, the intelligent and often mysterious physician whose relationship to Luna gives this story an intriguing turn. Lee, who has sometimes shown empathy for her distressed niece, seems to believe that Luna's darkness is a result of her circumstances rather than something that is inherent. Is Lee planning a bold ploy to pretend that Luna has died so that she might have a chance at atonement out of sight? This behavior is similar to what Lee did with Finn in the past, when she twisted people's conceptions of life and death in order to keep the people she loved safe. If this plan is real, it would include lying to Papinatsa, Luna's mother, and maybe other family members. The ethical conundrum here is that Palpabli's wish to cure Luna could either be a risky excess or a gesture of deep affection, putting relationships and trust at stake in her attempt to change Luna's tale. The emotional consequences, and the nuanced relationship between Sheila and Finn with Luna. Finn and Sheila Carter Sharp are particularly affected emotionally when the rumored death of Luna spreads around Los Angeles. Finn experiences a whirlpool of contradictory feelings as he struggles with his resentment over his estranged daughter Luna and his responsibilities as a watchful husband and father. Even though he cut off contact with Luna in order to protect his immediate family, but the sadness of her passing is threatening to break him. Finn could be plagued by flashbacks of their odd but significant exchanges, making him wonder whether there was anything he could have done to help her avoid her tragic course. As Finn works through his sadness, viewers may anticipate moving moments of him struggling with this loss and perhaps finding comfort in unexpected places. Sheila, however, offers Luna's narrative another viewpoint. Sheila developed an unexpected relationship with Luna in spite of her own turbulent past, seeing in her a kindred spirit against a society that often misinterprets outsiders. Sheila's drive to find the truth is stoked by the news of Luna's death, whether it is true or a lie. Would she suspect Lee and investigate more, putting her old rivalries and scars at risk? Often hidden under layers of cunning, Sheila's maternal impulses might emerge in unexpected ways. Giving her character more nuance as she laments a bond that went beyond criticism. As they deal with their suffering independently, but concurrently, the relationship between Finn and Sheila, who are bound together by a common loss, promises to be an engaging side story. The heartbreak of Bill Spencer and his refusal to let Liam in. Bill Spencer, meantime, is in a painful situation as he longs to support his son Liam at this crucial period. The strong patriarch, renowned for his uncompromising demeanor, is surprisingly excluded from Liam's comatose state in the hospital room. Bill's irritation and desperation are fueled by this barrier, which may be imposed by medical procedure, familial choices, or something more sinister. Is this limitation the result of a miscommunication with Steffi, who may be defending her own grieving space? Or does it allude to a more extensive plot connected to Liam's illness? Someone doesn't want Bill to find out about it. Additionally, Bill's effort to get close to Liam illuminates the larger subject of, in the middle of turmoil, parental love. Bill, who is well known for his exaggerated character in both business and relationships, is shown to be completely vulnerable. Pacing outside the hospital's doors, I'm repeating every choice that brought me to this point. Supporters may see him confiding in Brooke Logan, who may be able to provide Bill with support given his own experience with loss. The emotional complexity of this plotline highlights how brittle family bonds can be when tragedy strikes, as Bill struggles to regain his position at Liam's side. Striking, making us question if hope and reconciliation can win out. This already exciting week becomes even more suspenseful as a medical mystery and Grace Buckingham's secret goal come to light. There are rumors that Grace Buckingham is involved in a medical scandal. It seems that Grace, a character who is often in the background but never without power, is keeping important details concerning Liam's brain tumor and a drastic treatment option that has been suggested as a last resort. According to SpoiIers, Grace's secret could intertwine into a larger medical community plan that challenges morality and the limits of experimental medicine. Is Grace hiding information about a dangerous treatment to protect Liam? Or is she involved in something far riskier, maybe motivated by self-interest or other pressures? Grace's sometimes inactivity at school has enormous ramifications. In addition to endangering Liam's low odds of recovery, if her participation in a dubious treatment plan is revealed, it might also destroy confidence among the Forresters and Spencers. Consider the consequences if Steffi or Bill find out that Grace was aware of a possible lifeline for Liam, but chose to remain quiet. With Grace's reasons being closely examined, the atmosphere is set up for dramatic confrontations. As the plot progresses, it poses interesting questions about the relationship between morality and medicine. When a loved one's life is on the line, how far is too far? In order to find out whether Grace's secret would be her downfall, viewers will be riveted to their televisions. Or if she could defend her decisions in light of growing scrutiny. The thrilling and turbulent circumstances surrounding Luna, Noah's most recent activities on The Bold and the Beautiful will next be discussed. With Luna's destiny at risk, this week's spoilers are full of high-stakes drama, startling violence, and the possibility of significant change. The complex web of familial relationships, guilt, and atonement, from her lethal outburst to the potential for a life-altering operation, pledges to maintain fans' whole attention. Come along as we examine every aspect of this compelling plot, including new viewpoints, creative details, and the nuanced emotions that propel these cherished characters through their darkest moments. Luna's bloodthirsty and treacherous outburst. Luna understands how to unleash a torrent of violence that leaves destruction in its wake, causing the streets of Los Angeles to experience a level of anarchy seldom seen before. In a terrifying series of incidents, Luna's despair turned into a lethal rampage, taking the lives of innocent people before using her weapon on Liam Spencer and Sheila Carter Sharp. But her first target was Steffi Forrester Finnegan, who was motivated by a deranged ambition to remove every barrier to her father-daughter bond. Then, ever the defender, Liam plunged himself in danger to preserve Steffi's honor, which led to a terrifying gunfight in which Luna was seriously injured. The issue now looms as she sits on an operating table having life-saving surgery. Will she come out of this experience? If so, how much does it cost? A fragmented psyche that refuses to accept responsibility is shown by the depth of Luna's acts. Luna blames her mother, Poppy Noah, for influencing her difficult childhood rather than facing her decisions. And now it's Steffi for allegedly forcing her to return to the shadows. Luna's violent acts are justifiable from her distorted point of view. If only she and Finn could have clicked, there wouldn't have been any bloodshed. This flawed logic depicts a young lady who is engulfed in denial. Her internal conflict is having disastrous effects on everyone in her vicinity. As viewers, we are forced to wonder whether this sad trajectory was predetermined or if her lethal destiny might have been changed by a one moment of connection. As doctors fight to save Luna's life, she will emerge from a surgical crossroads changed. Fans of BNB are whispering about a possible miracle. What if anything is rewired by the shock of surgery and the brush with death? Essential to Luna? The intriguing prospect that she may reappear as a revitalized Solomine that is gentler, kinder, and full of regret, rather than as the heartless murderer we have seen is hinted at in spoilers. Imagine a Luna opening her eyes in that antiseptic hospital room and seeing out through the prism of anger at a world she no longer recognizes. We may finally get to meet the naive, optimistic girl who came to Los Angeles before she was devoured by infatuation and resentment. This significant change may act as a redemption story for one of the most contentious characters on the program. Imagine Luna sitting upright in her hospital bed, a kind nurse helping her to piece together her jumbled recollections. As the realization of her misdeeds hits her, her countenance changes from one of bewilderment to one of dread. Maybe she'll get in touch with the people she hurt. In an honest and unvarnished manner, Steffi, Finn, and even Sheila's loved one are pleading for forgiveness. Although this change wouldn't change her history, it may provide a route to recovery for Luna as well as for a broken family who are seeking to comprehend how things went so terribly wrong. In the high-drama world of the brave and the beautiful, the idea of a new Luna is a ray of optimism, an opportunity to investigate whether nature or nurture determines a person's soul. The last-ditch effort of Lee Finnegan to rescue her niece. Lee Finnegan, the stoic doctor at the center of Luna's struggle for survival, gives this story a tragic dimension via her relationship with her niece. Catastrophe. Known for her keen mind and somewhat stiff manner, Lee shows a more sensitive side when she doesn't let Luna go without a struggle. Lee, who feels that there is a redeemable spirit behind the violence, is motivated to see Luna through this crisis out of a combination of personal determination and family responsibility. Could Lee's emotional support and medical knowledge be the secret to giving her troubled relative a second chance? Lee's internal conflict provides fruitful ground outside of the surgery room for moving narratives. Imagine vigils beside Luna's bedside in the middle of the night. Lee muttering words of support or even remorse for not stepping in sooner to stop Luna's decline. Lee may struggle with recollections of her own complicated family relationships, her relationship with Finn, and the secrets she has kept, questioning if history will repeat itself. Additionally, Lee could discover a medical condition while doing surgery. Luna's unpredictable behavior might be caused by a neurological condition. It would support a medical mystery storyline. Lee's steadfast dedication to Luna's physical and mental rescue highlights the strength of family bonds when they are pushed to the limit. The double character of manipulation, redemption, or rehabilitation. Even if Luna lives and seems to change, there are still many unknowns in the future. In one scenario, she is portrayed as a lady who has been resurrected and is really startled to discover her violent history. Imagine her attending treatment sessions and collaborating with a counselor to untangle the psychological tangles that resulted in murder, crying as she writes sincere regrets to the families of her victims. In order to make up for her transgressions and win back Finn's confidence, this Luna may commit herself to activism or community service, demonstrating that even the most heinous acts can lead to transformation. But beyond the surface, there is a darker prospect. What if Luna's seeming metamorphosis is a front, a cleverly constructed double personality that she uses to control everyone around her? In this terrifying turn of events, Luna could pretend to have regrets or forgetfulness while surreptitiously planning her next move to gain Finn's love. Imagine her perfectly portraying the remorseful daughter while harboring the same compulsive urges that led her to commit murder. Every intimate moment would become a possible lie because of this dichotomy, which would keep viewers wondering. Will Luna's recuperation signal a true beginning? Or is it just the next phase in a risky game? The tension around her actual intentions seems to be an intriguing danger in next week's Finn's suffering, a father's predicament in the face of catastrophe. With Luna's life on the line, Finn, caught in the middle of this emotional maelstrom, is faced with a painful conundrum. The urge to shield Steffi and their family from Luna's instability has always taken precedence over his desire to bond with his daughter. Now that Luna's actions have left a path of blood, Finn is dealing with a maelstrom of sorrow and guilt. Will he dare to risk further suffering by reopening the door to a relationship if Luna lives? Or would the weight of what could have been follow him around forever if the worst happens? Strong moments of reflection, such as Finn telling Steffi or even Sheila about the parent he wishes he could be for Luna, might be a manifestation of his inner turmoil. Finn's struggle may be exacerbated by the complexities of Vietnamese family relations, which are often rooted in duty and honor. Personality. As he considers if he failed Luna, viewers may see him looking through old letters or pictures that were left over from their brief time together before everything fell apart. Without a doubt, Finn's experience with this catastrophe will influence his future by putting the limits of forgiveness and the resilience of parental love in the face of unfathomable tragedy to the test. A community experiences suspense and grief as a result of the ripple. Due to Luna's activities and eventual destiny, the whole BNB environment is rocked, impacting everyone from Liam's loved one's allies are Sheila. Sheila, a divisive character with a history of repentance and relapse, may feel a strange connection to Luna and be saddened by her loss, thinking back on her own parenting blunders. Another level of tension is created by Liam's recuperation from his gunshot wound. Will he be bitter towards Luna? Or if both survive, would a near-death experience create an unanticipated bond? As the intended victim, Steffi has to negotiate a terrifying and traumatizing environment. Her fortitude will be put to the test as she strikes a balance between helping Finn and shielding their kids from the consequences, while also pursuing personal recovery. Poppy is well aware that Luna's mother could either rise to support her daughter's second opportunity or crumble under the pressure Luna placed on her. The way each character responds to Luna's tale deepens the collective fabric of loss, mistrust, and optimism that best embodies what it means to be brave and beautiful. These connections' interdependence guarantees that Luna's destiny will change alliances and enmities for months to come, whether it is survival or demise. On Friday, July 11th, 2025, we will then reveal the heartbreaking and puzzling incidents from The Bold and the Beautiful's pivotal moments. Fans were left reeling by this episode's flurry of emotions, unsolved mysteries, and startling discoveries that have led to many conjectures. The intense confrontations between Bill Spencer and the Forresters, the unresolved suspicions, and the unadulterated anguish following Luna No's apparent death. There's a lot to consider about who really survived. Come along as we explore the finer points of this remarkable event. Each crucial moment is given new insights, creative twists, and more profound emotional depths, leaving the BNB community humming with suspense, sadness, and mistrust. The diametrically opposed responses of Sheila and Poppy. The Bold and the Beautiful's episode premiered Friday with a powerful emotional punch as the aftermath of Luna No's always supposed death spread through the city of Los Angeles. Poppy is completely aware of everything. Viewers were astounded by Luna's mother's response, which seemed very cold, as she accepted her daughter's death with a sense of near calm. Her stoic manner, as if Luna's funeral was only a formality, gave the impression that she was either numb from years of suffering or concealing a more profound and painful reality. Could Poppy be hiding anything about Luna's destiny behind her icy acceptance? Or is she just too damaged to deal with the death of her daughter? Often found it difficult to comprehend? Sheila Carter Sharp's attitude, on the other hand, was characterized by smoldering denial and outright incredulity. Despite the young woman's difficult past, Sheila had developed an unexpected kinship with Luna and was unable to accept the sobering news that Finn had brought to her via Deacon. She was left searching for explanations in the antiseptic confines of her own hospital room when her initial assumption that Luna had survived surgery clashed brutally with reality. Sheila's response suggests that a storm is about to break out. Consider her. Her mind was spinning with speculations about a miracle or a cover-up as she paced restlessly. Her track record of tenacity and cunning indicates that she won't stop until she learns the whole truth about Luna's death, paving the way for future conflicts with people who may be more knowledgeable than they're admitting. Liam's side was shielded from Bill Spencer's suffering. As he discovered the catastrophe that had befallen his son, Liam, Bill Spencer found himself at the center of an agonizing struggle. Spencer. Bill's agony over the hurtful remarks made during their most recent heated dispute, coupled with his desperate need to see Lime unconscious in a hospital, became the main focus of Friday's drama. He is haunted by the recollection of telling Liam to get up and behave like a man. A painful recollection of a father-son relationship marred by miscommunication and pride. Every viewer's heart is touched by Bill's desire to be at Liam's bedside and to apologize to an unresponsive son. Recognized family dispute. However, his suffering was exacerbated by the Forresters' icy rejection, which prevented him from entering the hospital with a sense of personal power. As if she had control over the medical facility's walls, Steffi Forrester Finnegan, accompanied by her parents, Ridge and Taylor, decided to order Bill out. Steffi's fierce protectiveness of Liam and Bill's indisputable right as a parent clashed in this standoff, causing emotions to flare up like lightning. Could the reason for this exclusion be unresolved animosity from previous disputes? Or does the Forresters' unified front have a secret agenda? Bill's loneliness at this difficult period begs important issues about forgiveness and whether he and Liam can ever get back together, particularly because time is running out. Lee Finnegan's rage and his secret misgivings about Luna. In the middle of the tragedy, Lee Finnegan stood out as a very emotional character. She was furious at Poppy for what she saw as her callous reaction to the death of Luna. There was more to Lee's rage than mother instinct. Unspoken history weighed heavily on it. Maybe years of annoyance at Poppy's impact on Luna's tumultuous existence. Imagine Lee in the hallway of the hospital. She blames Poppy of neglecting her daughter long before this awful conclusion, her voice shaking. The stress of her emotional loss was causing her medical equanimity to crumble. In an already tense episode, this altercation added a layer of bitter family drama, emphasizing the profound fractures that may never mend. However, there is a glimmer of denial behind Lee's anger that has admirers speculating. Lee seemed to falter in his manner as the one who announced Luna's death. Is there anything enormous she's hiding? According to spoilers and fan speculations, Lee could think Luna merits another shot and plan a lie about her passing in order to shield or help her niece get well. Imagine Lee keeping watch over Luna's bed in a secret safe home. Recuperation behind closed doors, motivated by a belief in the possibility of salvation. This turn of events would be reminiscent of Lee's previous manipulations of Finn, posing moral questions about whether she is sacrificing lives for the sake of society or out of frantic family devotion. In the next days, the intriguing thread of whether Luna is dead or Olivia will finally come to light. The Forrers' uncompromising opposition to Bill. The decision by the Forrers as a group to keep Bill from seeing Liam painted a striking image of a family pulling together, with Steffi leading the charge as the ferocious gatekeeper. She wasn't only exercising her power when she told Bill to leave the hospital. During this time, it was a declaration of war about who really controls Liam's life. With the backing of Ridge and Taylor, Steffi's behavior points to a deeper agent who could have a persistent mistrust of Bill's motives or a desire to protect Liam from further emotional upheaval. This unified front standing's image, an effective blow of allegiance and exclusion, was delivered shoulder to shoulder against Bill's beseeching look. This altercation also provides insight into the Forrers' personal sorrow and rage, which may have been aimed at Bill for alleged previous transgressions that fueled the present turmoil. Could Ridge be using this as an opportunity to establish control because he still harbors bitterness at Bill's part in previous family dramas? Or is Taylor's maternal impulse to manage the conversation about Liam's vulnerability the reason for her support for Steffi? State. Since Bill's exclusion runs the possibility of deepening the divide between the Spencers and Forresters and maybe igniting a rivalry that might dominate future plots, the emotional stakes are very high. Fans can't help but wonder whether the lines of conflict are now permanently drawn, or if one act of kindness may heal this division. A startling turn. Is Luna really gone? As the show progressed, a growing skepticism developed among both characters and spectators. Is everyone that Luna knows indeed dead? Or is this narrative more complex than it first appears? Subtle clues in Lee's actions and the storyline point to a potential deception, even though her pronouncement bore the weight of finality. What if Liam is the one on the verge of death, lying comatose and unresponsive, and the wrong person's destiny has been sealed? This hypothesis becomes more popular when we take into account Liam's dire health, which stands in stark contrast to the uncertainty surrounding Luna's purported death. If Luna survived the procedure and was kept secret by Lee or a supporter, creates a maze of opportunities. Maybe Lee thought that the only way to shield her niece from legal repercussions or more injury was to pretend she was dead, so she escorted her to a private clinic under false pretenses. Imagine a covert meeting in which Lee confers with a reliable co-worker, discussing the ethics of her behavior while keeping an eye on Luna's health via a broken door. On the other hand, Luna's survival may result in a future run-up with Sheila and other mourners. may detect dishonesty. This ambiguity gives the plot an exciting sense of suspense, making us want to find out what the real tale is. How, considering the seriousness of the circumstance, it may not be the greatest word choice. The phases of mourning are a roller coaster of emotions. Viewers were expertly led through the 5 stages of mourning on Friday's show. Lee was furious with Poppy because each figure represented a distinct aspect of grief and coping. Although Poppy seemed to. Bill's guilt for his last words to Liam, rooted in a chilly acceptance of Luna's destiny, kept him stuck in a painful pact with the past, longing for an opportunity to make apologies. Desperately hoping for a different result, Sheila's denial surged. And by excluding Bill, the Fourers' united posture suggested a protective sadness, insulating themselves from further suffering. This range of emotions struck a deep chord, reflecting the confusing but common experience of coping with catastrophe. The intensity of these responses also lays the groundwork for further advancements. Imagine Bill looking through a photo album to reminisce about past times spent with Liam. Every picture gives him a twinge of sorrow, which strengthens his resolve to fight for entry. Or imagine Sheila sneaking into a silent hospital chapel and muttering, "Please for Luna's survival," her voice cracking with an emotion seldom heard. These intimate grief journeys have the potential to profoundly impact character arcs, providing viewers with a mirror. As the B&B story unfolds, what's next? A web of secrets and sorrow. As we conclude this in-depth exploration of the memorable moments from The Brave and the Beautiful on July 11th, 2025, the unanswered questions and emotional undercurrents leave us wanting more. Will Bill be able to get back in touch with Liam, or are the Fourers' barriers too great? Is Luna really gone? Or does Lee have a secret that could completely upend everything? As we navigate the next chapters of this captivating storyline, stay tuned to our channel for daily updates, exclusive insights, and fan theories. Until next time, keep the drama alive and your speculation soaring. What do you think lies ahead for our beloved characters? And how will Sheila's quest for truth clash with the delicate web of grief and deception surrounding this tragedy?